Hey everyone, it's me. Video version of what's in text for you. So I'm going to show you right here in this video 5 techniques that'll help you get a better fit with your running shoe. You should always look for a good fit that's snug, not tight, not sloppy, doesn't rub anywhere, and you should always check to see if there's an extra width. So if you get a regular, make sure you see if there's a wide or an extra wide in that shoe you're trying on, or you're trying a whole bunch of different models in the right category of shoe for you. But once you've got the shoe that fits pretty well and you just need something to make it fit a little bit better, that's where I'm here to help. So the first technique we've got is heel lock or runner's loop. This one's really easy. It's really just lacing up that shoe, and when you get, I'm going to grab the other one over here, when you get to the top, okay, at that, usually there's sort of the top eyelet, a hole, and there's one a little bit further back. So we're using the top 2 eyelets. You can see I've got one that I haven't laced through. So on the same side, I'm taking the lace and I'm lacing through on the same side. I'm making a little loop, and I'm doing that again on the other side. So you'll see what I have is 2 loops. Okay, I've got 2 loops on either side there. It's like 2 little ears. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking the lace from the opposite side and I'm putting it through the loop. And I'm doing that on the other side as well. Okay, so each loop. And then what I do is I simply pull them together. Okay, and what that does is it gives you a little extra tug so that it helps pull and cinch the upper of the shoe around the ankle, and it draws in around the back of the heel as well. So what that does is for someone who feels like it just doesn't feel snug enough around the top there, the top of the foot and the back and the heel, this can help draw things together. Oftentimes, a lot of women as well, or anybody who wears a tight-fitting shoe a lot of the time, even a dress shoe or even a sport shoe, or even like a hockey skate, or something that's tight some of the time, a running shoe can feel a little sloppy. It's meant to be a little bit of room. It's not meant to be tight, but this can help snug things up. Okay, so it's easy. Little loop at the top, and then you lace through that loop on either side. Okay, so loop, lace through, cinch it up, and then you make your bow. So that's number 1. So the heel lock. The next one is kind of for that person that has a high instep or is a sore spot along the top of their foot. So we have that foot that's called like pes cavus, a high arch, more be a rigid foot. This is one where it really helps out. I've used the first lacing technique a lot, and this one I don't use as much, but I have used here and there for that foot that needs a little more room right here, right in the middle, okay, right along here. So what I do is, if I've got a shoe, I'll unlace it almost to the bottom. I'll leave, say, 1 or 2 eyelets done up. Okay, so you can see now almost to the bottom. And then what I'll do is I take a lace and I lace up on the same side. I'm going to skip. We're going to say on this one, we're going to make a big, what we call window. So I'm going to skip 2 eyelets on the same side and then lace through. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. I'm going to miss 2 eyelets, and then I'm going to go up, lace through, and then at the top of the shoe, I'm going to lace through normally. So back across to the top, the other side, and then once again, lace through on the other side like I normally would. Now what you can see now is I've got that normal lacing at the bottom, and I've laced across the top, that cross lacing. But right in the middle there's no laces crossing over. It allows the space as well for that foot or anything else to push up. And when you draw on the shoe, you're not irritating that part of the foot and you're not making it tight there. Okay, so that's your sort of your window lacing, or what we call box lacing. Okay, really simple one. Now we've kind of gone through narrow heel. We've gone through a high instep. The next one It's also going to require you to unlace. So pull all the laces out. Sorry, this is not the exciting part of the video. So no laces in. Take that lace, and instead of starting right at the bottom eyelets, on this one I'm going to assume I have a really wide foot, or a person with a bunion that wants a little more room. You know, even the wide width perhaps isn't doing enough. You want a little more play right around there. So instead of lacing starting right at the bottom, I'm going to skip the first two eyelets. I'm going to lace through just like I would start with any shoe. Okay, measure up the laces, make sure they're about the same length. But I'm starting two eyelets up. Okay, and then what I do is just lace normally. Across, across, across again, all the way up. Okay, and what it results in is you've got normal lacing, except at the bottom where it's free of laces crossing over. It allows a little more play in the forefoot there, and can help that person out. Just needs a little tiny bit more room. Okay, so that's that wide forefoot, that toe box lacing that we're calling. Okay, the next one I have, number 4, is not one that I use a lot. Person with a narrow foot often, or somebody doesn't feel like the shoe is snug enough on their foot, they really want to draw that sneaker in. Often I would double check or make sure that the person really feels that, or if it's just, is it not as snug as they're used to? Because you want a shoe to feel comfortable, not tight. So definitely check on that. But if you want to try and draw that shoe in for whatever reason, just doesn't feel right without it being a bit snugger. Remember that first one we did where we made a loop on either side and then lace through and then pulled together? You're going to do the same thing, but all the way up the shoe. So you're going to start lacing like you normally would. Start at the bottom. Okay, pull your laces up, make sure they're the same length. Sorry, this is not the exciting part. Sorry if you've fallen asleep. There we go. Okay. And then you start making loops. Okay, so you make a loop, whether you do it next eyelet up or you skip a couple, whatever you want to do, but it's basically making a loop and then making a loop on the other side and then lacing through the loop and then lacing through the loop. And what allows you to do is really, you can see it there, just pull together, and you're going to continue that all the way up. So loop, lace through, loop, lace through, loop, lace through, and it allows you to kind of pull that shoe together tighter. It'll probably actually pull this right together, so there's no distance between the two sides of the shoe. I don't like seeing that a lot because I don't see a lot of really narrow feet most of the time. I often feel people tend to choose this option or want that because they're used to something fitting really tightly. When you're out running, your foot will expand and get warm, so you really do want to have some room in the shoe. Okay, so I usually don't use this one. I try and find a shoe that fits better, but it is an option. So you've got the heel lock at the top, cinch down that heel. You've got the window lace, and you create a spot where there's no laces going across, create a little bit extra room. You've got the wide forefoot here where you've just skipped lacing. Okay, create some more room for wide foot or bunion. You've got that narrow foot where you're really cinching in a bit more to create a snugger fit. And then the last one is, it can be for a person with a wide foot or just a foot that has a lot of volume. Like it's just a big foot. It just takes up a lot of room. And one of the things with that as well is when you have a foot this large and you stick it in a shoe, you go to lace up at the end of things, and if you've ever had it where you've got like just a little tiny bit of lace and it's really tough to lace the shoe finally. So we're pulling these laces together again. Okay. And when that happens, it's a pain in the butt. So on this one, to create a sort of a looser fit, but you can still pull it together and to create some lace at the top so you can create your bow, instead of lacing every eyelet, you're going to lace but skip an eyelet. So start at the bottom here, and I'm going to skip one and go across. And then I'm going to skip an eyelet and go up the next one. And I'm going to go across, but I'm going to go skip an eyelet. And then I'm going to go across, but I'm skipping an eyelet. And then I'm going to go back to the last eyelet, and I'm kind of still skipping an eyelet. Okay? So, and that depends as well. You don't have to go right back to the last eyelet as well. That's another tip as well. You lace up to wherever feels comfortable. You want the shoe to stay on, but you don't need it tight. You want your foot to do what it's supposed to without being confined or restricted. The last eyelet in a shoe isn't necessarily because you have to lace there. It's optional. Okay? But what you can see I've done here is I've laced up using every second eyelet. And I still have laces here to lace up afterwards. So if you have a looser fit, there's less laces growing across the fit. It's less constrictive, more conducive to getting more foot in that shoe. Okay, so once again, heel lock, window lacing, wide forefoot when you jump back a little bit, the narrow foot where you're kind of making loops and pulling everything in and cinching it, and the wide foot where we're skipping eyelets when we go up and lace. 5 techniques. And if you want to add a bonus one, remember that every foot is different, and perhaps you've got a bunion where you need to jump back an eyelet and start lacing, but your heel still doesn't feel secure enough, so you can then do that loop at the top and snug it up. So use the lacing techniques in combination to have it the best fit for you. Every foot's got 26 bones, plus ligaments and muscles and everything else. It's the most common bony structure in your body, and your foot is different than anybody else's. So what works for you and what lacing technique works for you may not work for your neighbor, and vice versa. Okay, so good luck out there. Make sure you've got the right type of shoe, that it fits well, is comfortable right off the get-go, and that it's laced up and working for you. Happy running.